Good morning to you all. The quotation we had from the minister, I want to ask, from production to consumption, who are the stakeholders? So we need to break the whole system, agricultural system down and look at area by area and identify the stakeholders there so that we can see exactly what is their role and what each of them is supposed to do. If you look at cocoa, if you look at cashew, who are the producers, who are the transporters, and who are the consumers? In other words, where is the market? With these few examples, I can now conveniently try to categorize the areas that the stakeholders can find themselves. And if you take a particular stakeholder, you must be able to identify where that stakeholder is in the value chain, because they have different needs and they have different challenges. And if you have to provide and request them to have some obligations, then those obligations and services must be surgical and specific. You take production, for example, the farmers are there, they are stakeholders, landowners, tractor operators, chemical pesticide sellers, etc. You can go on. Transportation, you look at the transport owners, you look at the middlemen and women, that is the buyers who go to the farmers to buy. You look at the labor, and take note here, the type of labor for transportation may not necessarily be the type of labor when it comes to what? Harvesting. So labor itself is not general. The Kareweh group, for instance, where they are part of the value chain, from the market to your car to wherever, are different from the labor that will actually till the soil. So even labor itself needs to be identified according to where it is found itself. Now, but let us also appreciate that in some of these rules by the stakeholders, they sometimes overlap. You have some overlapping. But we also need to critically think about the degree, or the magnitude of the overlapping, because it's important to know we can't just operate as usual. And it's so disappointing that for all these years, we don't seem to be making the type of progress that we are making in agriculture. Now, the roles of the stakeholders are not clearly determined by policy and enforced. Yeah. And then this leaves us with a chaotic, poorly organized, and unregulated agricultural production system in this country. And I would like to emphasize this, because the roles of the stakeholders are not clearly determined by policy and enforced. It leaves us with a chaotic, poorly organized, and unregulated agricultural production system. And I would like to ask these questions, which you also know. If you take an example, who sets the standards and enforcement of how food should be handled in the markets? If you go to Agogloshi, you go to Medina Market, you go to any of our markets, they pour oranges on the floor or on the ground. Pineapples are on the ground. Watermelon is on the ground. Who enforces that? Who gives the standards? And again, when you even go to the market or by the roadside, and the women they are selling tomatoes or anything to you, they hit the container, the under. You think that it's a full container, but it's not. You see why I'm saying this? Who regulates who? It's a chaotic system. You see, but when you say this, people will think that you are undermining. No, but that is the reality. Some of the state institutions, excuse me to say, derelict in their duty and get away with it. That is the nature of our agricultural system today. So if this program has come, and for us to look at the role of this, stakeholders in the value chain, and you see that if one stakeholder is weak, because it's a chain, the whole objective of the chain will collapse. And these are the things that, in my view, we have not been able to thoroughly examined And that is why I see this particular farmers conference and the team very, very relevant. And I think that it is the future, unless we actually, and if we implement it, and I'm happy that the minister's representative is here, at the close of the day, we expect that all that is discussed here and the way forward, there should be somebody to ensure that that is implemented. Otherwise, it becomes another talk show. And that's why I'm happy the minister's representative is here. And I'm also happy the media is here. Please keep on and make sure that you hold the stakeholders and all those who are responsible for any implementation responsible to do their duties. Thank you.